Alright, the first thing to do is cut the wood you're going to be using to make your spear. Alright, once you have your piece of wood, the next step is to cut it into sections, not going all the way down, just about 6 inches to a foot. Okay, you should notice that there's about 6 or 8 little sections on this, depending on how many slices you put into it. Now we're going to want to split all those up. An easy way to do this is to grab a few twigs. Alright, to do this, just take one of your little twigs and feed it down through one of the cracks, going the entire width of the cut. You want to try to get that down as far down as possible because you want this to spread. And just keep going around, feeding it through the notches. Alright, now we're going to sharpen each one of these. There's one. I'll check back in when I've got them all done. As you can see, I've got every point sharpened. These are all way too close together, so what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to put some more twigs in, maybe even a little thicker, just so I can spread it out a little more. The more area we've got, the better chances of catching a fish. That's more like what we want. Once you have it all sharpened, one of the things you're definitely going to want to do is carve a little notch just below the tip, so that way when it penetrates the fish, it doesn't slide right back out. Once you have all your prongs to your liking, you're going to want to tie it off to make sure these won't slide up and to make sure this won't split anymore. There's that. Now it's not going to come undone or split. One thing I like to do is if you have some cordage, tie one end to your wrist and the other end to the end of the spear. That way if it ever leaves your hand, you can easily retrieve it without having to go into the water. You really have to pay attention to where the sun is, because if your shadow is in the water and you move a little bit, you can scare off any fish there nearby. After every cast, I just like to make sure they're all still sharp. Sometimes times when you cast in and you think you missed, right when you pull that spear back, you gotta check the water, because sometimes you actually do stun them and you can get them afterwards, if you're quick enough. However, I did not do that. Now, as I'm walking the shoreline looking for fish, I'm also looking for frogs. If you get one of them, you can chum the water and fish actually love them. But so do snapping turtles, so watch out for that. Oh, that's what I was trying for. It is completely possible. Sorry I didn't get that on camera. When I shot for it, I didn't realize I was out of frame. Alright, I feel bad for you guys not seeing me get the fish, so here's a little test.